Hello. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use sample schedules in FluidLife's myLab. With myLab, I can schedule each component or make schedule rules that apply to all of my equipment. I'll start with a single component. I'll open Edit Equipment. Now I'll pick myLab Test 1, Dozer, D107, Engine. Now I'll select the Sampling tab here. By default, components look for a global rule as indicated here. I'll switch to a component rule by clicking here. Now I'll enter that I'd like to take a sample every 3 months, like this, and click Save. Up here, I can see when the last sample was taken, and here I can see when the next one is due. I'll go back to the home page. Now I can see that I've got one sample due on the Due Sample task here. Let's set rules for all of my equipment. I'll go to the Sample Scheduling task. In here is where I can have multiple rules that apply to filtered sets of my equipment. I'll click here to add a rule. I'll set it to every 3 months, like so, and filter it to just my engines. I could apply further filters on things like manufacturers, models, and oils. Now all of my engines will be scheduled for every 3 months unless I've set a specific schedule on one. I'll add a second rule. On this one, I'll set it for every 6 months. I won't put any filters on it, so it applies to every component. myLab uses the rules in the order I arrange them, so it will find the 3-month engine rule first for engines. It's important to arrange the rules so the most specific rule is on the top and the least on the bottom. I can move a rule up or down by clicking on the rule in any column to select it, and then pressing up or down, like this. I'll save the rules. Now I'll go back to the home page. As you can see, I've got a lot of due samples now. I can see how all of my equipment is scheduled on a summary report. I'll click Summary Reports here. Then I'll select Equipment Sample Scheduling. I'll pick myLab Test 1 and click Generate. I now get a spreadsheet of all components for that customer and how they are scheduled. I can also see if I have any equipment without a schedule on the Unscheduled Equipment report here. As I've created a rule that applies to everything, I don't have any. Now let's set up some due samples. I can select the cutoff date other than today here if I'd like to see what's due this week, for example. I'll click Find Due Samples. myLab does all of the calculations for me and gives me a list of all of the due components in a spreadsheet. I can use the checkboxes here to select which ones I'd like to take. Then I'll click the Set Up Samples button to start the process. The rest of the registration process is the same as normal. That concludes how to use sample schedules. Thank you for watching.